Hello, welcome to Chainbreakers. We are a Christian recovery program that focuses on the road to recovery using the 12 steps. As you work and study the steps, you will begin to step into the future that God has planned for each one of you. We use various recovery materials, including the Bible, AA Big Book, NA Basic Texts, Celebrate Recovery, and other relevant sources. We want to make it very clear that this is not an AA or NA meeting, and we are not affiliated with either fellowship. Our mission is very simple: life change through broken chains. We are called to change the world of recovery by bringing people to the knowledge of the true God that will set them free and break their chains of addiction. We know that when you get a revelation of who God is, it will cause a revolution in your life, resulting in freedom from addiction. At Chainbreakers, we go from desperation to restoration through the 12 steps and the power of Jesus Christ. It's through his power that we have become chain breakers, and we invite you to join us. Our message is hope, freedom, and new life in Christ. Our promise is redemption, full restoration, and abundant recovery. We aim to help you build a life that you don't need to escape from. We purpose to save the lost and disciple the saved through sponsorship, spiritual mentorship, 12-step recovery meetings, fellowship, and meaningful relationship with God and others as objectives to accomplish our mission. Our destiny is to help you reach yours. Welcome to the family. If you are not a Christian, please know you are wanted and welcome here. We will pass the basket for donations to help pay for weekly expenses, including free literature and Bibles we give to patients when bringing our meeting into treatment centers for H&I. We encourage sponsorship. A sponsor is someone who will take you through the 12 steps. We also encourage you to get a list of phone numbers to help you build a support network. If you're willing and able to be a sponsor, please raise your hands and keep them up for a moment. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for service.
If you need a sponsor, please talk to one of these people after the meeting or see us at the front, and we will help you get connected to someone. Do we have any newcomers or visitors to the group that would like to introduce themselves? Go ahead. Hi, Tiana. Welcome. Anyone else? Oh, sorry.
My name's Cameron.
Hi, Cameron. Welcome.
Welcome.
Okay. All right. Any newcomers or visitors, if you would like someone to reach out to you, as we understand how hard it is to pick up the 1,000-pound phone, simply fill out the top portion of the card on the table or check in on the GCC app and simply click the Chainbreakers button and someone will get in touch with you. This is not a necessity. We respect your decision to be anonymous. It is just an option if you would like it. Please help us serve and minister to you through the ministry of prayer by checking in on the app. What this does is print out a list of names of everyone that has checked in that night, guaranteeing that we will be praying for you by name throughout the week, as well as on our Prayer Warriors weekly prayer call. All you have to do is hit a button to receive prayer. You can also come to the Next Steps table to receive prayer tonight before you leave. Don't leave here with a burden. Instead, leave it here at the altar where it can actually change your situation and change you. First-time guests, we also encourage you to bring the connection card to the Next Steps table, as we would love to pray for you and give you a Chainbreaker cup as a free gift to you. If you want to get involved, the commitment sign-up sheet is at the front table, or do you have it, Chuck? Yeah. Okay, yeah. If you would like to get involved, you can see Chuck, and he'll sign you up. And if you don't want to get involved, you know what we say here at Chainbreakers: get involved anyway. If you would like to make Chainbreakers your home, you can also sign up at the front or see any home group member. But all home group members, please raise your hand. Thanks, group. Okay, I do have an announcement. This Friday, we are having a beach day. This Friday at 11 a.m. They're meeting at 49th Street in Seattle City. There's a library you can park at for free at the end of 49th Street by the bay. So it should be a really good time. You should come out. Great fellowship. It should be really fun. So come out and join us. Finally, a big shout out to our global family watching online. Feel free to put in the chat where you're watching from and if you are new so we can welcome you. My name is Renee and I'm a recovered, redeemed, delivered addict and alcoholic.
Hey, Renee.
So tonight we have Diane here who will be sharing her story. She's celebrating 1 year clean and sober tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, she is a home group member. It's been a really great honor getting to know her. She's always has something encouraging to say and to share to the group. I'm really looking forward to hearing your story. You've been through a lot, I know, and you're a very strong woman. So I'm really looking forward to hearing your story, and I'm going to give you your 1 year keychain.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So the floor is yours.
Okay. Hi, family. My name is Diane. I'm a grateful recovering addict. A little bit about myself. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I was born in 1958. Came from a big Italian family. We lived in a six-family brownstone home. Always remembered music, happiness, a lot of laughter. My mother, my father, my aunts had an open door policy. Back then we lived in an area that there was a lot of poverty, but my mother and my father always took in people, even to have little children sleeping in our beds with us. But that's growing up, and I remember all the good times that we had. My mother used to sing in the church. But that was that. My father was killed in 1968. I was born in 1958. My father was killed in 1968. I was 10 years old, but 2 teenagers drag racing. They killed him instantly. I had 5 brothers, and I was the only girl. The year I was born right on Father's Day. From that day that my father was killed, I can remember 3 of the 5 brothers that I have starting to drink and drug and fight because, my father was killed and I don't think anybody could accept it. So I remember a lot of bad times starting to happen then. My mother had to raise us by herself. Even though my aunts and uncles were in the house, my mother had to raise us by herself. She had a nervous breakdown. Now here, this big Italian woman, I remember her being strong, able to handle anything, but she couldn't accept my father's death and she had a nervous breakdown. She took to drinking for a little while. I remember seeing beer cans behind the curtains, underneath the bed. She didn't want us to see, but I remember seeing it. I had my aunts and uncles upstairs, and they took hold of me to help my mother out. So they would take me downtown to buy my coat, my clothes, my shoes, and all that kind of stuff. But then my mother became sick. She started getting, she got cancer. And here I couldn't accept that because this big, strong woman that took care of 6 children the best that she could, I saw her fading away. And I couldn't accept that. So we moved to Starrett City in Brooklyn, New York, and it just seemed to get worse and worse. But then I was like maybe 16, 17 years old. And when I moved to Starrett City, I was looking for something that, I thought I had it in my home, in my childhood, but there was something missing in my life, in my younger life. There was always, like I said, my mother sang in church. We came from a big, happy Italian family. But there was something missing, and towards my end of my story, I'll let you know what was missing. But I started hanging out with the wrong kind of people. And I remember going down to areas that no one should even walk in those areas. I met up with some Rastafarian men, and I started dating one, and he was a big-time drug dealer. So he took a liking to me, and he started feeding me crack cocaine. I remember the very first hit that I took. This is all honesty. I remember the very first hit that I took. I thought I was up in heaven. And it just didn't end like that. I just kept going and going and going. He took possession of me. We were in a car one day, and he told me he had to stop at a store. When he stopped at the store, he gave me this large package to hold for him because he didn't know if the cops were going to be inside the store. So don't you know, my evil thinking started. And as soon as I saw him go in the store, I tore butt out of that car. And I went running and running. I didn't know where I was running, but I was running. Eventually, he caught up with me. After a few days, he caught up with me. Now, this is when I started getting beat up. He took me, he beat the crap out of me. I'm telling you, black eyes, broken bones, everything that he could do to me, he did. He locked me in a room for 2 days, didn't give me anything to eat, didn't do anything for me, just came in and smacked me, spit on me, did whatever he had to do. Eventually, I got out of that, and I ran, but he never found me anymore because I changed my hair color. I don't know if any of you ever saw my Facebook pages. I had black hair, I have red hair. This is my natural. But I changed my hair at that time, and he never found me. But I was missing something. I had a lot of stuff that I wanted. I don't know what I was wanting. I think I was looking for acceptance from everybody. But I had so much love at home. But that empty feeling. So I just continued doing crack cocaine. And it was to a point that I started prostituting, thrown out of cars. I had things done to me that no woman would ever, even with a drug addiction, would ever think of having someone do to them. But these men were doing things to me that were unbelievable. But I accepted it because I wanted my drugs, so I took it. Then from that, I didn't want to live that way no more. So I was with this girl one night, and she had told me, let's go out and let's go see if we could get some more. So we went down to an area that we shouldn't be, and I met another guy, and he was from England. He was a basketball player from England. He had visited his mother at the time. So, right away I heard a professional basketball player. I thought he had money, which he didn't, because he sent me out in the middle of the night to do crazy things for him, to bring back the drugs to him. But me, I did it. So then I met up with him, and we were driving. Me and this girl were driving one day, and I said, honey, I said, Brandy, you know what? Let me out of the car. I don't want to be in this car no more. So she said, why? How are you going to get home? I said, I just don't want to be in this car no more. So she pulled over, she let me out. That same night, she crashed into a brick wall. Now, if I would have been in that car, I would have been into that brick wall with her. But by the goodness of God, God had a purpose. Even though I went through so much heartache and shame and misery and losing all my 5 brothers. I don't have no brothers. I lost all of them. One brother died in my arms from a drug overdose that I was partying with him all night long. And by the grace of God, the cops came in the house. I was afraid for the cops to come in the house, but I said, I'm going to jail. I've never been in jail. I said, I'm going to jail for real now. No, because God had a purpose even then for me. So they just took my brother's body out and took me to the hospital to, because they can't pronounce him dead right there. So they took him to the hospital, and I had to sit in a cop car, and there I got paranoid thinking I'm definitely going to jail, but no. They took me to the hospital, and that's when it's only by the goodness of God that I've been through all that I've been through. So after that, I walked on the Bell Parkway in Brooklyn, New York. I don't know if anybody's familiar. It's a big, big parkway. I walked myself to Staten Island to a hospital for detox. And I was there for like 6 days. I came out. When I was there, I found out that I was pregnant. And when I came out, that was in middle 1987. When I came out, I said, I'm not going to do this no more. And I didn't do it for almost 36 years. I was clean because I didn't want to raise a baby. She didn't ask to come into this world. I was doing what I had to do, and I conceived, and I'm not going to torment my daughter. So I stopped from 1988, my oldest daughter was born, until 2023, June 17, 2023, is when I relapsed. I had 2 girls and 1 boy, and a mother and son's bond is like unbelievably close. I love all my children, but I got the worst phone call anyone could ever have. My son was a little bit of a troubled person. He too was looking for acceptance in all the wrong places. So I got the worst phone call that my son had passed away. But now we got the phone call on the 21st. The coroner labeled him to be found dead on the 17th of June. He was living in like a boarding house for troubled teens, and he overdosed from fentanyl. My heart was shattered. I didn't want to do nothing. I couldn't believe, it may sound crazy, but I said, God, why are you doing this to me? You've taken me through so much. Why are you taking my son away from me? I wasn't blaming, but I was just asking, why are you taking my child away from me? And after that, I just lived in Manhattan, and I lived in a high-rise building, and people were coming up to my apartment thinking that they were giving me comfort, but they were bringing me drugs, whatever kind of drugs I wanted, anything and everything. They were coming up and handing me this and handing me that, doing whatever they could do, thinking they were doing the right thing, but they weren't. I started with 1 bag of heroin this last time. By the time I was done, I was up to 20 bags a day. It's a wonder. By God's grace, I didn't overdose from it, because I didn't even know what I was getting in those bags. But I was so depressed, so hurt that God had done this again to me. You took my mom, my father, my brothers, all aunts, all uncles. I only have 2 daughters left. Just recently, I lost my only last brother. I buried my son in August because we had to wait for the autopsy and everything. My brother passed away in September, the only brother that I had left. But I'm saying that all to say that, in my life, I always knew that there was a God. And, I went to Catholic school for a little while. I didn't like it because they were too strict. But, yeah, and I knew that there was a God, and I prayed whenever we went into church and everything. But I never, ever, ever had a relationship with God. In the middle of the night one night, while this last time, I was laying down in the bed, and I heard something talk, and I heard God talking to me. And the voice was saying, "Get up now, Diane. Pack your bag." Nobody lived with me. I was living by myself. I wasn't, I might have been coming down, but I wasn't out of my mind. Pack your bag. Just leave this apartment. Get on a train. I want you to leave right now. And I did exactly what I heard. In the middle of the night, it was about 3 o'clock. I left my apartment at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was about 3 o'clock. I packed a little bag. I left all my furniture, all my clothing. I just took what I thought I needed, and I left the apartment. I didn't know where I was going, how I was going to get there, but I just left. And I found my way getting on a train, and I wound it up in, in Camden, New Jersey, at a place called Christ Hospital. Some people know it as Lourdes Hospital, but they are detoxed. And when I came out of the detox, they wanted to send me to Straight and Narrow. I didn't want to go to straight and narrow because it looked like I would have tried to get out of there, being honest, and would have relapsed again. But I found a place up in Ellendale, New York. And once I was up in Ellendale, New York, it was all on mountains and everything. And I found the most beautiful friend that I've ever known. You know, I spoke with him every morning. I saw him around me by the beauty that he placed in front of me. You know, and it was such a different feeling this time. And why I'm saying all of it is, God had wanted me to really open up. He didn't do all that. I'm not going to say that. That doesn't sound right. I didn't go through all of that because I had to. I went through all of that because he wanted me to see something. And what he's shown me is like unbelievable. The greatest love, the greatest peace I have. Yeah, I miss my son. But you know what? I celebrate his life now. I celebrate the memory of my son. I celebrate the memory of all my brothers, you know, my father, everyone. But now I have an understanding. I have a love. I have the best friendship. I have joy in my heart. I have prayer that when I pray, I know he is going right up to God because my prayers are always answered, you know. And it's just been a whole different experience for me. By me being honest and open and accepting what God has had for me and understanding what I went through, you know, it's a whole different feeling this time. Yeah, it's completely different. I feel like a little child walking again. When I talk about the goodness of God, you know, I feel a rush in my body. I feel an overwhelming joy. There's no better friend than Jesus. There's no better friend. He's given me, he gives us all everything we need, or everything we want, everything we need. But for myself, he's given me life again. And there's no way that I'm going to stop talking to him, stop praying. I sit out. I live in a fantastic home right now. You know, and all of us ladies, we get along. I sit out in the morning. We have a beautiful deck. And I just talk to God, you know, and it's like an amazing feeling that I can actually know that he's hearing me. He's listening to me. Because, you know, you get signs and you definitely get signs back from him. You know, I always said to God, I said, show me my son every day, you know? And if I don't lie no more. At one time I was a big liar. But there's a yeah.
I think we all were.
Big liar. I would make you believe everything I said. But I don't lie no more. I can't lie because God told me don't lie. You want a relationship, tell me everything. But I tell him, send me a sign that my son is with me. He's still around me. And every morning, my son's name was Ryan Joseph. We call him RJ. And every morning there's a blue, what is it?
Blue jay?
Blue jay that comes on the deck of my house. Aww. If it's not on the deck, it's right above my head. So, yeah, I'm going to not talk forever because I could talk forever. But I just want to give honor to God that's been so good to me. And, you know, don't ever be embarrassed to talk about God. I talk about God in the supermarket. Mm-hmm. You know, I talk about God in the train station. I don't care because he's been so good to us. He's been, you know, a lot of us didn't have to make it. But he made sure that we're here, you know. We could have been somewhere else by now. But he always provided, always watched out for us. And I know he's watching out for me. And I know that my son is walking right there with me, telling me, okay, Mommy, you're doing it this time. Mm-hmm. You're doing it. But it's only through the goodness of God that I'm alive today. And I thank you all for letting me share my testimony. Just have faith in God, give it all to Him. I smile when I talk about God. I go into groups, and I don't care if everybody don't talk, but I'm going to talk about the goodness of God. If you don't want to hear about it, there's a door. You can walk out the door. But I'm talking about the goodness of God. God is my story right now. So everybody have a blessed night. Thank you for letting me share. And good night. Thank you.
You did an amazing job. I just wanted to talk about a few things you were sharing about. Just the faith that you had and the trust in God that you had when you just got up in the middle of the night and just listened to Him and did what He said. It's just admirable. Yeah. And, who knows what would have happened if you didn't make that decision and trusted Him. He knows where you'd be today. I'm just in awe of how much faith and trust you had. It's admirable. It was just the strength you have and the strength that you show, all that you've been through. And I've been through a lot of loss too, but I can't imagine all that loss. And you're just a really, really strong person. And I also wanted to talk about how, you just say, for me, I grew up too, a Catholic, right? And you were talking about, there was always something missing. Yeah. I believed in God like you did, but I didn't have that connection, that relationship with God. So when I completely surrendered, because I had gotten clean for a little while before too, and I went to the meetings, I did the steps, I had a sponsor, but like you said, there was just something missing. And this time around, I completely surrendered to God, and just literally surrendered it all to Him. Right. And He, I put the work in, but He does the rest. I do what I can handle, and He takes care of the rest. And the peace of mind that you talk about, the peace of mind that you can get from only having a relationship with God is, it's indescribable.
Yes,
it really is. And thank you so much for sharing. Can we give her one more round of applause? Okay, here at Chainbreakers, victory begins with a decision. That is the third step decision, to turn your will and your life over to the care of Jesus Christ. If you have never made that decision by accepting and receiving Jesus into your heart, I'm going to give you that opportunity right now. Here at Chainbreakers, we believe the way to salvation is as easy as ABC. A, admit the truth about ourselves, that we are powerless sinners, that we've made mistakes. B, believe that all-powerful Jesus died on the cross to pay the penalty for all our sins. C, commit yourself to God. Invite Jesus into your heart and receive Him as your Lord and Savior. And we add a D in there, do it today, because tomorrow is never promised. If you are ready and want to make that third step decision right now, please say this prayer with me. Would everyone please bow their heads and close their eyes? You don't have to say it out loud, just from your heart, something like this. Father in heaven, thank you for loving me. I admit that I am a sinner, that I have done things wrong, and I'm sorry. I believe that you did something about my sin. When Jesus died on the cross for my forgiveness. Jesus, come into my heart. I give you my life. I receive you as my Lord and Savior. With eyes still closed and head still bowed, if you said that prayer with me for the first time today, would you please raise your hand? I'm not going to call you out or embarrass you. I just want to be able to pray for you and give you a Bible to start out your walk with Christ. I see that hand. Just keep your eyes closed for just another moment. Okay, you may open your eyes. For those of you who prayed with me tonight to receive Christ, congratulations. On the inside front of the Bible you received is a Next Steps card. We invite you to see our volunteer at the back Next Step table to talk to you about what that means. For those of you who pray with me online to receive Jesus, please send us a PM so we can congratulate you, pray for you, and mail you out some literature to help you get started on your journey with the Lord. We ask if this meeting blessed you in any way, please share it with a friend. Have a great night, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We're going to shut off the feed now to open the meeting for sharing. See you next week.
All right.